Imagine having a secret tool that could completely transform your life. A tool so powerful that it could turn your dreams into reality. Well, that's exactly what Neville Goddard's law of attraction is all about. It's not magic, and it's not some complicated science. It's a simple yet incredibly powerful idea that anyone can use to create the life they've always wanted. This law of attraction is like a key that unlocks the door to your dream life. It's based on the idea that your thoughts and imagination have the power to shape your reality. Think about it. Everything you see around you, from the tallest skyscrapers to the smartphone in your pocket, started as someone's idea. Someone imagined it first, and then it became real. Neville Goddard taught that we can use this same power of imagination to create the life we want. But here's the exciting part. This isn't just about getting more stuff or becoming rich, although that can happen too. It's about becoming the person you've always wanted to be. It's about living a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful to you. Whether you want a new career, better relationships, improved health, or just a sense of peace and happiness, Neville Goddard's teachings can help you get there. Now you might be thinking, this sounds too good to be true. Or maybe you're worried that it's too hard to learn. But here's the thing. If you don't give this a try, you might be missing out on some amazing opportunities. Think about all the things you've dreamed of doing or being. What if those dreams could actually come true? What if the only thing standing between you and your ideal life is learning how to use your imagination in the right way? The risk of not learning this is that you might stay stuck where you are. You might keep feeling frustrated, unfulfilled, or like something's missing in your life. You might watch other people achieve their dreams and wonder why it's not happening for you. But it doesn't have to be that way. The good news is that anyone can learn to use the law of attraction. You don't need any special skills or talents. You don't need to be super smart or have lots of money. All you need is your imagination, something we all have, and the willingness to practice. It's like learning to ride a bike. At first it might seem tricky, but with a bit of practice, it becomes second nature. Before we dive deeper into how the law of attraction works, let's talk a bit about the man behind these ideas, Neville Goddard. Born in 1905 in Barbados, Neville wasn't always a spiritual teacher. In fact, he started out as a dancer and moved to New York City to pursue his dreams in the entertainment world. But Neville's life took a different turn when he became interested in metaphysics and spirituality. He started studying different spiritual teachings and eventually developed his own unique understanding of how the universe works. What made Neville special was his ability to take complex spiritual ideas and explain them in ways that ordinary people could understand and use in their daily lives. Neville believed that the world we see around us is actually a picture of our own consciousness. In other words, what we experience in our lives is a reflection of our thoughts, beliefs, and most importantly, our imagination. He taught that if we want to change our lives, we need to change our inner world first. One of Neville's most famous ideas is that imagination creates reality. He didn't mean this in some vague, wishful thinking kind of way. He meant it literally. He believed that the images we hold in our mind and the feelings we associate with those images are the building blocks of our future experiences. Neville wasn't just a theorist, though. He practiced what he preached and encouraged his students to do the same. He would often share stories of how he used his own techniques to manifest various things in his life, from material possessions to career opportunities and even seemingly impossible situations. What set Neville apart from other teachers of his time was his emphasis on the power of feeling. He taught that it wasn't enough to just think about what you want or to visualize it. You had to feel as if your desire was already real. This idea of living in the end feeling and acting as if you already have what you want, became a cornerstone of his teachings. Neville's ideas might sound a bit strange at first, especially if you're used to thinking that the world is fixed and that we're just reacting to what happens to us. But his teachings invite us to consider a different perspective, that we are active creators of our reality, not just passive observers. Throughout his life, Neville gave hundreds of lectures and wrote several books explaining his ideas. He continued teaching until his death in 1972, leaving behind a legacy that has inspired countless people to take control of their lives through the power of imagination. What's interesting about Neville's teachings is that they're not just about getting more stuff or achieving external success. At their core, they're about understanding the true nature of reality and our place in it. Neville believed that we are all expressions of God or the divine, and that our imagination is actually the God power within us. This might sound heavy or complicated, but Neville had a way of making these ideas practical and accessible. He would often say things like, "You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe this is the only reason you do not see it." In other words, the version of you that has already achieved your dreams exists right now in your imagination. Your job is to make that imaginal act feel so real that it has no choice but to show up in your physical reality. Neville's teachings go beyond just positive thinking or setting goals. They invite us to question our basic assumptions about how the world works and who we really are. They challenge us to take full responsibility for our lives and to recognize the incredible power we have to shape our experiences. One of the things that makes Neville's approach unique is that he doesn't just tell you to think positive thoughts or repeat affirmations. Instead, he teaches a specific technique for using your imagination to create change. This technique, which he called revision, involves imagining a different version of past events or current situations. For example, if you had a bad day at work, instead of dwelling on the negative experience, you would use your imagination to revise the day. You'd imagine the day going perfectly, feeling the relief and satisfaction of everything working out well. Neville taught that this wasn't just about making yourself feel better, although that's a nice side effect. He believed that this act of revision could actually change the effects of past events on your future. This might sound impossible, but Neville explained it by saying that time is not linear in the way we usually think of it. He believed that all time, past, present, and future, exists simultaneously in the spiritual realm. By changing our conception of an event, we can change its impact on our lives. Neville's teachings also emphasize the importance of persistence. He recognized that changing deeply ingrained thought patterns and beliefs isn't always easy. It takes practice and patience. But he assured his students that with consistent effort, anyone could master the art of conscious creation. One of the most inspiring aspects of Neville's work is the sense of empowerment it offers. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, his teachings encourage us to see ourselves as the authors of our own lives. We're not at the mercy of external forces. We have the power to shape our experiences through our imagination and beliefs. Neville's ideas have influenced many modern teachers and authors in the fields of personal development and spirituality. While he may not be as well known as some other spiritual teachers, his impact has been significant and long-lasting. Many people who discover his work describe it as life-changing, offering a new perspective on reality and their own potential. As we dive deeper into Neville Goddard's law of attraction in the following sections, remember that these aren't just abstract ideas. They're practical tools that you can start using right away to create positive changes in your life. Whether you're looking to improve your relationships, advance in your career, enhance your health, or simply find more joy and fulfillment in your daily life. Neville's teachings offer a powerful approach to making those dreams a reality. So, are you ready to unlock your limitless potential? Are you ready to discover the incredible power of your imagination? Let's explore how you can start using Neville Goddard's law of attraction to transform your life, one imaginal act at a time. Remember, the only limit is the limit you place on your imagination. As Neville often said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Your new life is waiting for you to imagine it into being. At its core, the law of attraction is pretty simple. It's all about how our thoughts and feelings shape our reality. Now, this might sound a bit out there, but stick with me for a moment. Think about the last time you were in a bad mood. Everything seemed to go wrong, right? Maybe you spilled your coffee, got stuck in traffic, or had an argument with someone. On the flip side, when you're in a great mood, good things just seem to happen. You might get unexpected good news, run into an old friend, or have everything go smoothly at work. This isn't just coincidence. According to the law of attraction, we're constantly sending out signals to the universe based on our thoughts and feelings. And the universe responds by giving us experiences that match those signals. It's like we're all walking around with invisible magnets, attracting experiences that match our inner state. Let's break this down with a simple example. Imagine you're looking for a new job. If you're constantly thinking, "I'll never find a good job," or "no one will want to hire me," you're sending out negative signals. As a result, you might overlook good opportunities or perform poorly in interviews because you're so convinced it won't work out. But what if you changed your thoughts? What if you started thinking, "I have valuable skills to offer," or "the perfect job for me is out there"? Suddenly, you might notice job openings you overlooked before. You might perform better in interviews because you're confident and positive. You might even have people in your network reach out with opportunities. This doesn't mean that just thinking positive thoughts will magically make everything perfect. The law of attraction isn't about sitting on your couch and waiting for good things to happen. It's about aligning your thoughts, feelings, and actions with what you want to achieve. When you do this, you start to notice opportunities you might have missed before, and you're more likely to take action towards your goals. One important thing to understand about the law of attraction is that it's not just about what you think, but also how you feel. Your emotions are like a compass, pointing you towards or away from what you want. When you feel good, you're in alignment with your desires. When you feel bad, you're out of alignment. This is why Neville Goddard puts so much emphasis on the power of feeling. He taught that to attract what you want, you need to feel as if you already have it. This might sound tricky, but it's something we all do naturally sometimes. Have you ever been really excited about an upcoming vacation? You might find yourself daydreaming about it, feeling the sun on your skin and the sand between your toes, even though you're still at home. That's the kind of feeling Goddard was talking about. Now let's talk about why Neville Goddard believed imagination was so important. In his view, imagination wasn't just about daydreaming or fantasizing. He saw it as the most powerful creative force in the universe. In fact, he often referred to imagination as God, or the creative power of the universe. Goddard taught that everything in the physical world starts in the imagination. Think about it. Before anything is created, someone has to imagine it first. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're reading this on, even the words I'm writing, all of these started as ideas in someone's mind before they became real. But Goddard took this idea even further. He believed that our imagination doesn't just create things, it creates our entire experience of reality. In other words, the world you see around you is a reflection of your inner world, your beliefs, and your imagination. This might sound a bit far-fetched at first, but let's consider an example. Have you ever noticed how two people can experience the same event completely differently? Maybe you and a friend go to a party, you have a great time, meet interesting people and leave feeling energized. Your friend, on the other hand, finds the party boring, doesn't connect with anyone, and leaves early. Same party, totally different experiences. According to Goddard, this difference comes from the different imaginal acts you and your friend engaged in. So, how can we use our imagination effectively? Goddard taught several techniques, but one of the simplest is called living in the end. This means imagining that you already have what you want and experiencing it as vividly as possible in your mind. Let's say you want a new job. Instead of just thinking about wanting a new job, you would imagine yourself already in that job. Feel the satisfaction of doing work you love. Imagine the details of your new office or workplace. Hear your new colleagues congratulating you on a job well done. The more real you can make this scene in your imagination, the more powerful it becomes. Another technique Goddard taught was called revision. This involves using your imagination to change your perception of past events. If something unpleasant happened during your day, before you go to sleep, you would imagine that event happening differently, in a way that you would have preferred. Goddard believed that this could actually change the effect that event has on your future. The key to using your imagination effectively is to make it as vivid and real as possible. Use all your senses. Don't just see the scene in your mind. Hear it, feel it, smell it, taste it, if appropriate. The more real it feels to you, the more power it has to shape your reality. Now, we come to what Goddard considered the most crucial part of the law of attraction: feeling. He often said, feeling is the secret. What did he mean by this? Goddard taught that it's not enough to just visualize what you want or to think positive thoughts. The real power comes from feeling as if your desire is already real. This is because your feelings are the language that communicates your desires to the universe. Think about it this way. Have you ever tried to convince someone of something when you didn't really believe it yourself? It probably didn't go very well. That's because people don't just listen to your words. They pick up on your tone, your body language, and the energy you're giving off. In the same way, the universe responds not just to your thoughts, but to the feeling behind those thoughts. So how do you generate these feelings? Goddard suggested a simple but powerful exercise. He called it feeling the reality of the fulfilled desire. Here's how it works. First, get clear on what you want. Let's say you want a new house. Now close your eyes and imagine you're already living in that house. But don't just see it, feel it. Feel the satisfaction of owning your dream home. Feel the comfort of sitting in your favorite chair in the living room. Feel the pride as you invite friends over for dinner. Make it as real and vivid as possible. The key is to generate the feeling of already having what you want. It's not about wanting or needing or hoping. It's about feeling the reality of it now. Goddard taught that when you can make this feeling real enough, your outer world has no choice but to reflect it. This might take some practice. At first, it might feel like you're just pretending. But the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. And here's the interesting part. As you practice this, you might start to notice small changes in your life. Maybe you'll overhear a conversation about real estate opportunities, or you might meet someone who knows about a great house that's about to go on the market. These are what Goddard called signs following, little indications that your imaginal act is starting to manifest in reality. Remember, the goal isn't to force yourself to feel happy all the time. It's about aligning your feelings with your desires. When you can feel the reality of your fulfilled desire, you're sending a powerful message to the universe about what you want to experience. Goddard often emphasized that this isn't about fooling yourself or denying your current reality. It's about recognizing that your imagination is the creative power that shapes your future. By feeling the reality of your desires now, you're laying the groundwork for them to manifest in your physical experience. This practice of feeling the reality of your fulfilled desire can be applied to anything you want to experience: a new job, improved health, a loving relationship, or personal growth. The key is to make it feel as real and natural as possible in your imagination. As you practice this, you might find that your outer world starts to shift in subtle ways. You might notice new opportunities or meet people who can help you achieve your goals. This is because when you change your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, your outer world naturally begins to reflect that change. Remember, this isn't about forcing change or struggling against your current reality. It's about gently shifting your focus and your feelings to align with what you want to experience. As Goddard often said, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. One of Neville Goddard's most powerful teachings is the concept of living from the end. This idea takes the practice of feeling your desire fulfilled to a whole new level. It's not just about visualizing or feeling your desire for a few minutes a day. It's about living your entire life as if your desire has already been fulfilled. So what does it mean to live from the end? Imagine you've just achieved your biggest goal. How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? How would you talk to others? What kinds of decisions would you make? Living from the end means embodying these feelings and behaviors in your everyday life right now. Let's say your goal is to become a successful business owner. Living from the end would mean carrying yourself with the confidence of a successful entrepreneur. It would mean making decisions based on abundance rather than scarcity. It would mean speaking about your business with certainty and enthusiasm, even if it's still in the early stages. This practice can feel strange at first. You might worry that you're being delusional or lying to yourself. But remember, Goddard taught that your imagination is the creative power of the universe. When you live from the end, you're not pretending. You're aligning yourself with the version of reality you want to experience. Living from the end also helps you overcome obstacles. When challenges arise, and they will, instead of getting discouraged, you can ask yourself, how would the successful version of me handle this? This shift in perspective can lead to creative solutions and keep you moving forward. One practical tip for living from the end is to pay attention to your language. Notice how often you talk about what you want in the future tense. Try shifting those statements to the present tense. Instead of saying, I will be successful, say, I am successful. Instead of, I hope to find love, say, I am in a loving relationship. This simple change can have a powerful effect on your subconscious mind. When you start applying these principles, you're likely to encounter doubts and negative thoughts. This is completely normal. After all, you're challenging beliefs that you may have held for a long time. The key is not to fight against these thoughts, but to work with them. One common challenge is the gap between your desired reality and your current circumstances. You might think, how can I feel like a successful business owner when my business is struggling? Or how can I feel loved when I'm single? This is where faith comes in. Goddard taught that faith is simply loyalty to your unseen reality, the reality you've created in your imagination. When doubts arise, acknowledge them, but don't give them power. Instead, gently bring your focus back to the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Remember, your job is not to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let the universe take care of the details. Another helpful strategy is to practice gratitude. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you naturally align yourself with positive feelings. This makes it easier to maintain the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Try starting each day by listing 3 things you're grateful for, including things related to your desired reality. It's also important to be patient with yourself. Changing deep-seated beliefs and thought patterns takes time. If you find yourself slipping into old patterns of thinking, don't beat yourself up. Just gently redirect your thoughts and feelings back to your desired reality. The power of Neville Goddard's teachings becomes clear when we look at real-life success stories. While everyone's journey is unique, these stories can inspire us and show us what's possible when we apply these principles consistently. Take Sarah, for example. She had always dreamed of owning her own bakery, but fear and self-doubt held her back. After learning about Goddard's teachings, she started to imagine herself as a successful bakery owner. She would spend time each day feeling the joy of creating delicious treats, the satisfaction of happy customers, and the pride of running her own business. At first, nothing seemed to change in her outer world, but Sarah kept faith in her unseen reality. She started to notice small synchronicities. A friend mentioned a business course, she came across a perfect location for rent, she met a mentor in the baking industry. Within a year, Sarah had opened her bakery. She often says that the real change happened inside her long before the physical bakery existed. Then there's Michael, who used these principles to transform his health. Michael had struggled with his weight for years, trying every diet and exercise program he could find. When he discovered Goddard's teachings, he decided to try a different approach. Instead of focusing on losing weight, he began to imagine himself as a fit, healthy person. He would spend time each day feeling the energy and vitality of a healthy body. He imagined himself enjoying physical activities, eating nourishing foods, and feeling confident in his appearance. Gradually, Michael noticed his habits changing. He found himself naturally drawn to healthier foods and enjoying exercise. Over time, his body transformed to match the image he held in his mind. These stories, and countless others like them, show that the principles Goddard taught can be applied to any area of life, whether it's career success, improved relationships, better health, or personal growth. The key is to create the feeling of the desire fulfilled in your imagination and live from that place. As we wrap up our exploration of Neville Goddard's law of attraction, let's recap the key points we've covered. We've learned that our thoughts and feelings create our reality, that our imagination is a powerful creative force, and that feeling is the secret to manifesting our desires. We've discovered the importance of living from the end, embodying the feelings and behaviors of our desired reality in our everyday lives. We've also addressed how to deal with doubts and negative thoughts, recognizing them as natural parts of the process rather than obstacles to overcome. Through real-life success stories, we've seen how these principles can lead to profound transformations in various areas of life. Whether it's achieving career goals, improving health, or finding love, the process remains the same. Imagine it, feel it, live it. Remember, this isn't about forcing change or struggling against your current reality. It's about gently shifting your focus and your feelings to align with what you want to experience. As Goddard often said, change your conception of yourself and you will automatically change the world in which you live. The power to shape your reality lies within you, in your incredible imagination. It's not always easy, and it takes practice. but the potential rewards are limitless. So why not give it a try? Choose something you want to experience in your life and start imagining it vividly. Feel the reality of it. Live from that place. As you embark on this journey of conscious creation, be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small changes and synchronicities you notice along the way. Trust in the process, and most importantly, enjoy it. After all, the journey of imagination and self-discovery can be just as rewarding as reaching your desired destination. Your limitless potential is waiting to be unleashed. Your ideal life is waiting for you to imagine it into being. So go ahead, start imagining, start feeling, start living the life of your dreams. The universe is listening, and it's ready to reflect back to you the amazing reality you create in your mind and heart.